remember at any time the House Leader for the NDP raising an issue about Zach Churchill either verbally assaulting or poking Ramona Jennings?
At no time had anyone raised with me the issue of a member of our caucus physically touching any member of the opposition. I can assure you, I clearly remember that, and that member would know what my thoughts would be on that issue, but at no time. There have been times when people have talked to me about the enthusiasm of some of our members. For sure, we were in opposition. We were young guys. We came into government, but at no time, let me be clear about this, at no time did anyone reach out to me or tell me about a physical altercation.
What about verbal intimidation?
As I said, I've had people talk to me about the enthusiasm of our members. I think Minister Churchill talked about his own exuberance at times. I've spoken to him. I've spoken to all members of our caucus, quite frankly. If you follow question period at all, I often will tell our people, stop heckling in the House. It's not uncommon for me. I'm very much, those of you who've seen me in this job now for the last 6 years, we try to recognize, I try to ensure my own tone is correct. And I certainly communicate that to members.
What do you make then of a letter? One letter says that Frank Corbett did go to you, and Maureen McDonald has said that she went to you, in both cases raising concerns about Minister Churchill's verbal conduct, but also his physical conduct.
I can tell you that at no time did anyone raise with me a physical altercation. Have they talked to me about the tone of members? Sure, but at no time. I can tell you I would remember that. And as I said all along, so would Minister Churchill.
Did they talk to you about the tone of this member and these particular incidents?
I don't remember. I can't say they did or didn't, to be honest with you. But I can tell you that no one talked to me about a physical altercation. But I can tell you, many members talked about the enthusiasm of Minister Churchill. Maureen and I probably spoke twice, 3 times while she was the interim leader about a number of issues. I don't remember at all speaking to Frank in the House. Frank would normally speak to the House Leader. But at no time was there any issue around a physical altercation.
You're choosing the word enthusiasm. They're using the word harassment. What's the difference?
Well, I disagree with that. Minister Churchill has always said, and he's continued to say, his passion is very much enthusiastic. His exuberance around the debate. It's an adversarial place at times. He's never denied that. But at no time has anyone raised the issue with me of a physical altercation.
Are you aware of any instances where he swore at members or demeaned them?
No, I'm not.
But should a minister of the Crown, especially this minister, an education minister, be even admit to following members in a cloakroom and berating them? This is a man who's, has a heavy responsibility in your government.
I've said all along I wouldn't be speaking to him at times with tone if I thought it was appropriate. I've said tone matters. It matters for me as the Premier. It matters from ministers. It matters from all members of the House of Assembly. And I continually, coming into this session, I talked to our cabinet and our caucus about this is about tone. They're not debating our policies. They're not criticizing the budget. Very little. There's been a outright attack on members, and I said, your tone. Don't give them an opportunity.
Maybe you didn't know then, but about these letters coming to light and the way they portray Minister Churchill and his past conduct in the House?
Well, in those letters, people have said they told me they haven't. I can tell you now, nobody has in any time talked to me about a physical altercation with any of my members, and to suggest that they have and that I wouldn't have dealt with it, quite frankly, is just wrong. What I can tell you is Minister Churchill has acknowledged many times, continues to work on the enthusiasm of the debate, and it's spilling out beyond the main chamber. And I continue to have that conversation with him. I have confidence in the minister to continue to deliver on his portfolio.
What do you make of their statements now, though? If that came to light to you now, that this is what really happened, you didn't hear directly from them. You were hearing from other representatives. So now that they are voicing their story, their truth, what do you have to say to that?
I said obviously they obviously have an experience What I'm telling you is that at no time did anybody tell me about a physical altercation. At no time. This is 5 years, 6 years later, and in those letters, someone told me that is absolutely wrong and inaccurate. That's what I'm telling you. That's up to them to explain their experience. What I've said to our members, tone matters, and they need to continue to exercise their tone properly.
How do you react to it now if that information is accurate?
Well, that the tone that there
Not
was
the tone, that there was something physical or that there's been harassment.
Well, at no point has anyone demonstrated that there actually was a physical altercation, and no one has raised that with me. At no point, this is 5, 6 years later, that this was raised.
Premier, what would their motivation be for coming forward now?
I don't know what I can tell you. All I can tell you is the actual what happened and what I knew. And this is what I know, that at no time did anyone raise the issue of a physical altercation with any of my members.
And where do you draw the line between, and I'll use your words, enthusiasm and exuberance and aggression?
I think words matter. I think the way we express those words matter. I continue to communicate that to members. Some members are better at controlling that emotion. Others need to continue to work at it. And I don't believe it's just in what they're saying. I've said many times, continue to try to control the heckling on our side of the house during question period as I'm in there. I will continue to do that. I continue to work on my own tone. I don't. This is a place where conversations get heated at times, but people need to be reminded that this needs to also be respectful.
And just to be clear, you mentioned you had had conversations at least 3 times, all with this one member?
No. Listen. If I get anything that comes, so I often will talk to our members always. I often talk to them twice a week, either at cabinet and a caucus. It's not uncommon for me to go in, to have a conversation. What are they hearing? What are they seeing? And then I'll express the things that I think are happening in the province and where I think we need to continue to go. It's not and I always say, humility matters. You need to make sure that you continue to exercise. We're making tough decisions, but we can't lose sight of some of the decisions that we're making are impacting families. So how do we need to make sure that we keep that in mind. At the same time, our tone matters.
How many times would you have gone to Zach, though, to Minister Churchill, to ask him to tone it down?
I wouldn't have a specific number of times I would have gone to him, and it wouldn't be specifically to him. It would be I would not pull someone out of the crowd. That's not the way I would have done it. I would have said, we as a group need to be mindful of our tone. Those of you who know who I'm referring to need to be respectful of that.
Given that you've had a
meeting
bit
with
of conversations with your caucus over this before, and that we're talking about years ago, and now a new allegation has surfaced just in the last week, does something more need to be done with this particular minister? Is there a counseling opportunity that needs to be exercised?
I think Minister Churchill today expressed that he knows he needs to continue to work at making sure when his passionate debate is on the main chamber of the floor, it needs to stay in the main chamber.
You had a meeting today with the Unifor. How would you characterize it?
They were wanting to come in and express obviously the impact that this was having on their members. I told them I fully understood that. I understood the impact this is having not just on their members, but people in the industry across the province, and I hope that the company would be able to find and get a permanent project that would allow that mill to continue to operate in Nova Scotia.
You mentioned yesterday during question period that back in January is when sort of this Plan B team started to get rolling. Did you speak with the folks today at all about that and kind of give them some insight about what you and your government are considering should you have to go the Plan B route?
No, we had a very general comment about that, but there was nothing specific that they would have recommended or that I just wanted them to understand that I knew the impact this was having on those who are retired and those that are still working. What does this look like for those who've been there for periods of time? But I told them I still believe this mill can operate in the province. I believe this mill can coexist with the lucrative lobster fishery in that region. What we need the company to focus on is trying to get a project that can be permanent.
Union reps said they believe that perhaps the stakeholders, the natives, the mill and
Government.
community get together. Sorry, to try to mediate something going forward. Is that something you'd be interested in doing?
Well, listen. As I said, they need to be able to satisfy the fact that they can get a project that will meet the environmental standards of the province today. That's the starting point. If they don't have that, there's no option here. They need to be able to see if they can meet the environmental standards of the province today by putting together something that will allow the treatment to take place and capturing the issues in the effort.
Did they give you any information today that for you was new or perhaps hadn't been considered before?
No, I hadn't had an opportunity to meet with them. I met with lots of people around related to this issue from different organizations. I had not met with Unifor, and their national leader was in, Jerry Diaz was in, so I hadn't had a chance to meet them, so I did.
Premier, you were copied on those emails from the former NDP cabinet ministers. What have you done since then to reach out to them, or what do you plan to do?
I can tell you what I did. The information came in to me Monday night, when they would have been sent to me. I came in Monday morning, Tuesday morning. I asked my assistant, who's been with me since 2008, to comb through looking for emails and any contact that I would have had with either one of these members or their leaders, which one of them would have been Premier Dexter and the other at the time would have been Maureen McDonald. I also then went to this person who's been with me since 2012, who handles all of my correspondence, looking for any documentation related to that. There was no documentation found at all. There was all very clearly saying we would have remembered this, it would have been brought to the attention, or my chief staff's attention at the time, but there was no documentation whatsoever. And we're looking forward to continuing to move forward and answering questions today, get our budget passed, and continue to grow the province.
Will you be contacting either of these people?
No.
Why not?
Well, as I said, we've responded to the issues that is here. At no time did anyone contact me regarding these issues. At no time did anyone suggest to me that there was a physical contact with our members. At no time. And I want to be clear about that. And I'm looking forward to continuing to govern.
So it's case closed in your mind?
Well, there's no reaction to us. I mean, the allegations that are out there are false when it comes to whether or not someone told me. That's all I can respond to. Their choice. I don't know what they'll do next. I can tell you we're going to continue to govern and move this province forward.
Would it have been useful to send it to Internal Affairs and clear the air that way?
I'm not sure why they didn't back in 2012 and 13 when they suggested these things happen. So that's 5 or 6 years ago. That's a question better for them why they wouldn't have actually done that at the time and put it on the record, as opposed to why is it on the record today?
Premier, there's a rally.